Jackson and Perez, the pitchers, happy to have you with us. The producer-director of Cincinnati Reds baseball, Roy Alfers. Our associate producers, Jesse Jackson. Network coordinator, Dick Mort. Cincinnati Reds baseball, a special presentation of Multimedia Sports. Nice crowd on hand here at Olympic Stadium. Word that John McNamara has been fired as the manager of the Boston club. Third base coach Joe Morgan will take over for him.
Make sure you say third base coach.
Third base coach Joe Morgan, not the Joe Morgan who played so well for the Cincinnati Reds. And a trade just a few moments ago announced. Expos have acquired outfielder Dave Martinez from the Cubs for the contract of outfielder Mitch Webster. And that might make some sense, of course, with Tracy Jones coming over here. Buck Rogers, his club has won 7 in a row. They've been playing well. Buck, the National League Manager of the Year in '87 from Delaware, Ohio, the home of the Little Brown Jug. Johnny, how about the starting lineups?
You got them, Jay. We're happy to be with you this second half. Leading off for the Cincinnati Reds tonight will be Barry Larkin at shortstop. Cal Daniels bats second in left field. Chris Szabo plays third base. Paul O'Neill is in right field, batting fourth. Eric Davis batting fifth in center field. Nick Osaski bats sixth, plays first base. Batting seventh, Bo Diaz doing the catching. Batting eighth, Jeff Treadway at second base. Batting ninth, Danny Jackson, a record of 10-4. Defensively for the Montreal Expos, Tim Raines, Otis Nixon, and Huey Brooks in the outfield. Wallach, Timmy at third, Luis Rivera at short, Rex Hudler at second, Andres Galarraga, the first baseman. Nelson Santovenia is the catcher, and Pascual Perez. And you can bank on the fact that when Pascual pitches, there'll be 5,000 extra people in the stands. They have grown to love Pascual. In announcing the lineups prior to the game, after they got past 8, everybody already knew who the pitcher was, and they started cheering even before they announced Luis Rivera in the lineup. Perez, 6-3 on the year, 83 innings. He has only allowed 59 hits, and he has been shut out 3 times in the 11 games that he has started.
Perez, the man in motion, and they love him here. This copyrighted telecast comes to you through the courtesy of Multimedia Broadcasting, authorized under TV rights granted to the Reds solely for the entertainment of our audience, and any publication, reproduction, or other use of the pictures, descriptions, or accounts of this game without the express written consent of the Reds is prohibited. The announcers on this telecast are employed by Multimedia Broadcasting with the approval of the Reds. Chris Szabo, well, he stole a base. There's Spuds the night in the All-Star game. I guess normally we don't give you a shot of the umpires. We just mentioned that Eric Gregg is behind the plate. Crew chief John Kibler at first, Jim Quick at second. But I guess we ought to get a shot of the umpire who's at third base tonight.
Not really.
Well, we ought to indicate that it's the first time that he has done a Reds game since he gave Mr. Rose the boot, and it cost Pete 30 days.
Well, he certainly did. And,
Dave Pallone has returned, and welcome back.
But the most important thing, the second half, Jay,
yeah,
and the first 10 days are really the most important of the second half. The Reds getting off to a good start, trying to put a little heat on the Giants and the Dodgers, but we talked at the top of the show, the Dodgers winning 1-0 and 6-3. And what a game it was for Tim Leary. He was the winner. He beat Sutcliffe.
And with those 2 wins, that means the Reds start the night 8.5 back.
He and Alejandro Pena combined for the 1-0 shutout.
Larkin batting .298 steps in, and we're ready to go. Hope you'll enjoy the second half of the season along the Reds television network. Pascual Perez looking in to Nelson Santovenia. First pitch is inside for a ball. Larkin, with 96 hits, ranks 9th in the National League in that department. He's stolen 25 bases against the Expos, batting .313 on the year. And a check swing foul.
Well, in the second game of the doubleheader that the Dodgers won, they scored 3 in the first, and that made that stand up. That was the difference, 6-3. Winning pitcher Brian Holton, 4-2. Calvin Schiraldi, the loser, and a save for Jay Howell. Home runs Mike Marshall. Kirk Gibson hit 2 of them, 16th and 17th of the season.
this is popped out into short right. Hudler going back. Brooks comes on to make the play.
Yeah, also in a game this afternoon, it was the Minnesota Twins losing to the Baltimore Orioles 7-1. Big home runs in that game by Fred Lynn. He hit 2, his 16th and 17th, and Eddie Murray hit his 13th and 14th.
I was up in Minnesota at Hazeltine Golf Club where they'll play the 1991 U.S. Open Championship on Monday, Johnny, and they still think their Twins have got a big shot.
In the second half, how you start, and you would imagine that the Twins were happy starting against the Orioles, but it didn't turn out that way.
Cal Daniels with that .419 on-base percentage takes the strike. That's the top on-base percentage in the National League. 57 walks. He's hit .324 in his last 11, and he takes inside. 1 ball and 1 strike.
The new catcher behind the plate, Santovenia, he started 31 ball games, been successful at throwing out runners on a 30% ratio. They've won 20 and lost 11 with him behind the plate.
And that's ball 2.
It's a kid out of Miami University, Florida. Looked like he said they got just a little too cocky. They sent him to AA, and all of a sudden he decided he was going to have a good year and got himself up in the major leagues.
Here's the 2-1 pitch. Santovenia at the University of Miami football program gets all the press, but they have a good baseball program down there. An old friend of ours, Bob Greasy, former Purdue quarterback and Dolphin quarterback, does some play-by-play in color on those
So does Will
games.
McEnany.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Of course, Ron Frazier, the coach for the Hurricanes.
And a walk to Daniels, number 58 for him on the year.
And Perez, an excellent control pitcher. He's only walked 13. Now make that 14 on the year in 83 innings. They certainly don't want to pitch to Cal.
Chris Sabo leading the league in doubles with 32. Batting only .167 against Montreal this year. He has not had very good luck against the Expos. Pasquale faking a throw over there. Boy, you got to watch this guy all the time.
He'll pick you off between his legs.
Yeah, he's something. That's in there to Sabo. The Reds batting .245 as a team. They rank 10th in hitting coming into today's play. The Expos, as a team batting .252, ranked 6th.
Be interesting to watch Perez. He had a little jump there as he went towards home plate. Anytime he jumps, he's got to go to home plate. He cannot deceive the runner at first.
A blooper ball toss to first base.
Perez has his brother pitching over the White Sox. He's doing an excellent job.
Sabo fouling it back right below us. We had rain showers here in Montreal this morning. Beautiful afternoon, very warm day. And of course we have the roof. It leaks in spots, but it's finally up after a long time of sitting in a shed in Paris, France. They got it over here and got it on top of here. And the shortstop, Rivera, makes an error, and they're 2 on. And some boos for Rivera.
Well, this ball club has played well. The Expos have won 7 in a row. They picked up 5 games on the Mets. And the week before the All-Star game, off-speed pitch, topped, and Rivera tried to throw it sidearm. He never really got it out of the web of his glove. Just caught it like a snow cone right at the tip of the web and couldn't get a hand on it. He's played excellent baseball. Bobby Winkles was telling me he has really played good shortstop since being put it on a regular basis at shortstop.
A threat for the Reds here in the first. O'Neill, who has 8 game-winning RBIs on the year, with 2 on and 1 out. Inside for a ball.
Well, Paul more or less has been given right field. Pete more or less said so in the newspaper that Paul was going to be his regular outfielder. Reds
At this 4-game series here, and they'll head back home. It will be New York and these Montreal Expos coming in before the Reds head back out on the road to Atlanta and San Diego and Los Angeles. 1 ball and 1 strike, 2 on 1 out. The Reds 29-27 at night, 32-31 on artificial surfaces. And to the right side, Galarraga over to second, and the double play. Galarraga, the big cat, started it, and Perez dances off, and after a half inning, no score.
New faces for the Montreal Expos. This is one of them. Otis Nixon in center field. Tim Raines bats second in left field, followed by Andres Galarraga at first base. Batting fourth, Hubie Brooks in right field. Tim Wallach is at third base. He'll bat fifth. Nelson Santovenia is the catcher. He'll bat sixth. Rex Hudler, 9-year veteran of the minor leagues, is playing second base. Luis Rivera is the shortstop and the pitcher. Wow. Pascual Perez defensively for the Reds. Cal Daniels, Eric Davis, Paul O'Neill. Chris Sabo, Barry Larkin, Jeff Treadway, Nick Osaski in the infield, Bo Diaz behind the plate, and the all-star pitcher Danny Jackson with a record of 10-4. Did not start. Tom Browning had been originally scheduled to pitch this ball game, but they've moved him back to Saturday, and Danny gets the chance.
And Jackson ready to come into Otis Nixon, young man from Evergreen, North Carolina. Nixon, very speedy. Stolen 18 out of 21 attempts in 19 games, a switch hitter. Batting .238, selected for the Yankees in the first round of the June '79 free agent draft. And a foul ball.
Fouled a couple of times. You know, Nixon is one of those guys with that great speed. He has, in a minimum, in any major leaguer with a minimum of 200 at-bats, he had more runs scored than he had hits.
He was up with Cleveland in '84, played with them in '85, '86, and '87, went up to Buffalo in '87 and was released by Cleveland after the '87 season. The 0-2 pitch, just missing outside. He was traded with pitcher George Frazier, a player to be named later. A swing and a miss and a strikeout to start things off for Danny Jackson. Trade came in February of '84 when he came over from the Yankees. He did get up with the Yankees at one point in 1983 and played in about 8 games. Tim Raines. Raines at .278, 33 RBIs. He's got 7 home runs. Their 5th Jazz choice way back in '77. After re-signing last year in May, after trying for free agency, he had a magnificent season. Hit .330. 1 strike to count. Montreal, as we mentioned, batting .252 as a team. They've hit only 58 home runs. This foul outside of third. The Reds and the Expos are 2-2 on the year. Danny Jackson in his career starting the first time against the Expos. Jackson upset with the seating arrangements for his wife at the All-Star game.
Can't blame him. There were a few other Reds that were sitting with him, Reds wives anyway.
And here's the 0-2. This is low. Jackson has won his last 3 starts and 5 of his last 6. 10-4 the record. 3.28 ERA. Outside of third and into the seats down there. Pretty good crowd on hand on this Thursday evening here in the Quebec capital of Montreal. There's the man of the moment, the big cat for these Montreal Expos, Andres Galarraga. What a year he's having. Off to the right side and into the seats. The new Reds catcher Jeff Reed, John referred to. He'll wear number 34. Outfielder Herb Winningham will wear number 29. And of course, they're in uniform here tonight. Tracy Jones over on the other side. We saw him a little earlier. That misses inside. 2 balls and 2 strikes. These Expos are 24-18 here at Olympic Stadium. They're 24-19 against the West. 36-27 playing on artificial surfaces. And it's a fair ball. Sabo with a long throw in time.
For some reason, playing third base here, it seems like when you field the ball on that line, you know, you talk about them being the same distance everywhere, but this seems like the longest throw in all of baseball infields is from where Chris Sabo makes this throw, and he knows he has to hurry. He fields it perfectly and gets in position to throw while fielding, and the good, strong throw just got Tim Bray. Take one more look at it. See how he prepares himself to drive off that back leg? Good play.
Galarraga now at the dish. And the strike. 37 multi-hit games this season. 118 hits. 338 the average. Tops in the league. That's low.
I wonder why he only has 55 RBIs. Basically, the first two hitters in the lineup have really not produced, and Mitch Webster was one of those players. He is no longer with them, and Raines has had problems getting off to a good start.
That's high.
Hubie Brooks, batting fourth, has 55 RBIs as well.
This man has been the player of the month for the last 3 months for the Montreal team here. They have a luncheon up here for the player of the month. They've started calling it the Galarraga luncheon.
You check what he's hitting this July? 476 so far.
Not too bad, right? 1 ball and 2 strikes to Galarraga. That's low, 2-2.
You're right, Jay. The Galarraga testimonial luncheon.
I wonder if he has to get some new stories every time he gets up to talk. Hit on the ground. Treadway is charging and makes the play. They're down 1-2-3 after 1. No score. Into the second inning at Olympic Stadium, Montreal, and game 1 of this 4-game series. We'll be televising again tomorrow and Saturday. And here's Eric Davis. Davis, 10 game-winning RBIs. That's second in the league to Andy Van Slyke of Pittsburgh, who has 11. Pascual Perez throws inside. Eric has stolen 19 bases on the year, 18 in a row. Curveball. 2 balls and no strikes. I'll show you something. We get an opportunity in this inning. Johnny and I got a wonderful letter from C.J. Crabtree down in West Virginia, Osmore, West Virginia. And we got a moment. We're going to show you a picture that he sent us. It's a dandy. 2 balls, 1 strike to Davis, leading it off here in the second inning. The Reds have won 8 of their last 11, 3-1. What about the rumor making the rounds as we look at those Pascual Perez lifetime against the Reds numbers? Johnny, what about Davis for Murphy? Where'd that one come from?
Dale Murphy came out of Cincinnati early this morning. Strike call on the breaking ball, and pretty hot and heavy. Of course, you know, never know who starts those rumors.
Murray Cook.
Murray Cook, sure.
I didn't say he started it. I was going to say, you didn't let me finish. Hit on the ground to the shortstop, and Rivera makes the play. Murray Cook is here in Montreal with the team. Here's this picture of the Reds on a visit to Welsh, West Virginia. What was the year, Johnny?
1924, and it was quite a letter. C.J. He signed it C.J. Carl.
He said if they didn't beat the teams they were playing, they went out and shot them.
That's right. Well, look along the belt line there. You see the guys holding the guns. Guy fourth in the right in the business suit. He's the business manager. That's Fergie.
Here's the Sasky popping it up as Hudler, the second baseman, makes the play, and they're 2 gone. Welsh, West Virginia. I've been to Welsh. It's great country, great folks down there. They love their baseball.
I imagine there's a few of our fans still down there. We're at the game.
Oh, man. Mo Diaz hitting .228, 21 RBIs and 6 home runs. Curveball is inside. starting his 55th game behind the plate this year. He had some injury problems. Down the line in left. It'll go to the corner, and Bo should get 2. Raines doesn't allow that, though. He came up quickly with that one, didn't he? Raines got over on the line with that great speed, and Bo took one look and said,
Well, he hit it off the end of the bat, did Bo, and he really didn't get that carry that we thought it was going to. Raines got over in plenty of time, as it turned out. Breaking ball away, and see the extension right on the end of the bat. Of course, here's Raines. He got in front of the ball.
He sure did. There's no substitute for speed, is there?
No, there is not. I guessed that all my life.
You knew that, didn't you?
I knew that.
Jeff Treadway's batting .260. That got in there on the outside corner. Strike. Talking to Treadway tonight, asking what he did over the All-Star break. He had a nice quiet time at a lake down in South Carolina near Spartanburg. Beautiful spot.
Well, grand slam home run tonight by a third baseman. Used to play in Cincinnati.
Might be Buddy Bell.
Happened to be.
Well, that's something. Old Buddy is helping those Houston teams. Astros, a grand slammer for
Grand Slam, the 8th of his career. A lot of grand slams. American League, the Yankees scored 3 in the bottom of the first. I guess George got somebody upset over there.
But he sure did talk a lot when he came to Cincinnati, and then he apologized to everybody and said he's through talking for the year. I'll give you a bet, John. He's not through.
No, he said he was through.
Yeah, he said he was through. I'll still give you a bet. I'll bet you a nice cold one that he's not. 2 balls and 1 strike.
You always go with the favorite, don't you?
You bet. Always go with the champion until he's defeated. 2 balls and 2 strikes. The runner at first is Diaz. 2 out. Galarraga will handle this on his own. The Reds strand 1, an inning and a half, no score.
It's the bottom of the 2nd inning, and nothing between the Reds and the Expos. And the Reds, along with Oxidol and Dawn Detergents, have put together a special date that's just right for all of you ladies. It's Umbrella Day on Saturday, July 23rd, when the Reds host the Expos at 2:15. Now, the Reds umbrella that you see will be given to the first 15,000 ladies in attendance, 16 and overs. Don't forget Saturday, July the 23rd. It's the Reds and the Expos Umbrella Day, thanks to the folks at Oxidol and Dawn Detergents.
And Danny Jackson ready to go to work against Hubie Brooks. Brooks has been some kind of tough against the Reds this year. He's batting .437 against Cincinnati. He's hitting .333 in his last 42 at-bats. Hubie on the year .274. There's a strike. Brooks was involved, of course, in the Gary Carter deal. Herm Winningham was involved in that deal.
He certainly was. Yeomans. That's another story.
Yes, it is. Hubie, born in Los Angeles, started at Arizona State. Played on the same club with Bob Horner out there. No balls and 2 strikes. And they jammed him, and Treadway throws him out. Let's pause right now for station identification on the Cincinnati Reds television network.
Your #1 sports station in Cincinnati, WLWT.
With Johnny Bench, Jay Randolph. Congratulations all around to the city of Cincinnati and the area for a wonderful all-star game. Great hospitality. I talked to a lot of people who were on hand, Johnny, and you did an outstanding job. How'd you like the old old-timers game on.
I had a good time.
Yeah,
had a good time.
did.
Perez worked out for a solid week or two and hit into a double play. How can you hit into a double play in an old-timers game?
Wallach is batting .266.
Most of the families are up here, so the wives can't tell a lot of tales on us tonight.
We can have some fun. Huh?
And Lee was really, really disappointed. Really was.
High fly ball into left. Daniels says he's got it. He does. They're two gone.
Well, you're absolutely right, Jay. It was first class all the way. The party at the zoo was an enormous amount of fun. Everybody enjoyed themselves. And throughout baseball, to a person, everybody enjoyed Cincinnati. It was really nice. Congratulations to the people of Cincinnati, the Cincinnati Reds, and happy 200th birthday.
I saw that picture that was carried all over the country, you and Joe DiMaggio together. I know that had to be a kick for everybody to see Joltin' Joe there. Into left field, first hit of the game. Nelson Santovenia, the catcher, with 2 outs, singles to left. DiMaggio looks wonderful, doesn't he?
Well, Jay, unfortunately, he's not feeling well. He's got arthritis pretty bad, and I just hope everything's fine. We had a fun day doing some work down there at the stadium and on the air.
He doesn't feel like he wants to put the uniform on again, does he?
No, he really can't. He doesn't want to embarrass himself, and there's no need to do that.
No.
All he has to do is show up.
Yeah, it's very nice, too. He's certainly given a great deal back to the game. Here is Hudler, the second baseman, batting .273. And a strike on the outside corner to Hudler.
Quite a story on this young man, Jay. Spent 9 years in the minor leagues trying to get up here. 6 infield hits. 4 of those have been bunt out of the 9 hits that he has, and he's got great speed.
Yeah, this is a very up-tempo lineup compared to what we used to see with Nixon and Hudler now joining Raines.
Well, Hudler is platooning with Tom Foley, and Tommy has just been fabulous out in the field, and he started to hit along with Wallach, and that's what's helped turn this ball club around.
Hudler fouls it out of play off to the left side. 1 ball and 2 strikes.
9 years in the minor leagues. That's determination. I had the pleasure of meeting this youngster before the game. He came up to Bobby Winkles and said, "You promised you would introduce me to my idol." And I mean, you know,
that's nice.
That's nice to hear. And this kid is, I mean, I don't want to brag on him too much. I might think I'm prejudiced now that he likes me. But
he stole home in the first inning on July the 3rd in a game with the Braves. So he's paid his dues, as they say.
Well, I tell you, anytime you stay with something that long, you got to love it.
Center field, Davis on the run. He's going to get there. And after 2, nothing shaking for either side.
It's back, Cincinnati. Arby's famous beef and cheddar sandwich is now only $1.25. And wake up to Arby's sausage and egg breakfast biscuit, now just 69 cents.
Into the top of the 3rd inning. Olympic Stadium, Montreal. Johnny told you, Los Angeles starts off with a doubleheader victory today. Pascual Perez, 6-3 on the year. Perez, 30 years old, from the Dominican, former Pirate and Brave. 15-8 in '83 was his best year. And he puts a curveball in there to Danny Jackson. He 2-hit the Reds earlier this season, did Perez. Jackson with 5 RBIs and a 136 average. Swing and a miss in that 2-hitter. Only Diaz and Sabo were able to get hits, and really, I guess Diaz, as I remember, Johnny, had really the only solid hit. Sabo's was an infield variety. He's won his last 3, has Perez, and he strikes out Jackson for his first K of the game.
Afternoon or this evening now, some games underway. Minnesota and Baltimore in the second game of the doubleheader. Baltimore won the first one. Van Slyke had a 2-run triple, and Darnell scored on a ground out, or Van Slyke scored on the ground out. It's 3-2 Pittsburgh after 1 inning of play, and Dale Murphy hit his 14th home run. It was a 3-run shot. They lead the Mets 3-0.
Here's Barry Larkin, who flied to right to start the game. Inside for ball 1. Los Angeles 1-0 over Chicago in the first game and 6-3 in the second. Houston's leading Philadelphia 5-1. That's in the first. We told you the grand slammer by former Red Buddy Bell.
And a home run by Samuel now. That's why it's 5-1.
2 balls and no strikes. Pittsburgh 3-2 over San Francisco, as Johnny's indicated. Popped into short center. And it is Nixon who makes the play. And that other score to update you now. Atlanta 3, New York 0. As we told you, it's Darling against Mailer in that one. And San Diego playing at St. Louis, where it'll be Hawkins against De Leon. That game be getting underway in just about 20 minutes. And of course, the big news up here, the Canadian Football League opens their season tonight. Wow. Cal Daniels walked in the first. They don't even have a team here in Montreal anymore. I'll miss it. Montreal Alouettes.
Right.
They went kaput a couple of years ago. But they love it out in Alberta and Saskatchewan. There's the old floater.
That's what they came to see.
Haven't seen anybody throw that floater like that. I don't know whether this
Pedro
is in slow
Bourbon.
motion. Yeah.
That's a Pedro Bourbon.
Look at this. Hello, the old blooper ball.
Well, Phil Negro used to throw that.
Negro used to throw it, and a fellow that you won't remember, but I do, Bobo Newsom.
Somebody threw an Ephus pitch at one time.
Who?
Rip Sewell.
Rip Sewell.
Yeah, the Ephus pitch that in the All-Star game. Since we're talking about All-Star games, Ted Williams hit one, and well, it was 18 years ago today that Pete Rose scored the winning run as the Nationals beat the American League in Riverfront.
Strikeout number 2, 2.5, no score. Well, that's Youppi, the Expo mascot. He's been entertaining here between the break and the inning. Glorious shade of orange, isn't it? Luis Rivera batting .230. 22 RBIs and 4 home runs on the year. Made an error, but did not turn out to be a problem in the first inning. Rivera takes a strike on the outside corners. Johnny told you they've been very pleased with this fella's play up here. Batting .333 on the year against the Reds. .230 as you saw on the year. Now to play off to the right side. Rivera, 24 years old. He's from Puerto Rico. He hit .312 at Indianapolis last year and 156 up here in 18 games with the Expos.
He and Johnny Paredes was supposed to be the double play combination. Paredes did not fare well, and he was sent back to Indianapolis. See now tonight, Hudler, and tomorrow it will be Foley.
Into right field, O'Neill, and he makes the catch. It was just in fair territory, although I think a good deal of his body, O'Neill's, was in foul ground. The first base umpire, John Kibler, ruled it was a fair ball.
Hard to get the angle from that.
Yeah,
it was a fine play, needless to say. Had it gotten by him, that's got a chance of being inside the Parker, because the configuration of this ballpark makes the ball roll towards the wall out towards right center and in a hurry.
Fine play by O'Neill. Well, sit back and enjoy Pascual Perez, and it won't take long. Perez grounds out. First baseman Asaski. And it'll be Otis Nixon. He struck out back in the first inning. There's a good view of Olympic Stadium. The area out there in center field, of course. It's really a marvelous facility in this whole area, of course, for the Olympic Games. It brought great recognition to the province of Quebec, Canada. Sabo backing up, throws on. A nice snappy 1-2-3. After 3, nothing shaky. Pascual Perez, first pitch to Sabo. As we get underway here in the fourth. Ball one. Sabo reached on an error back in the first inning. And this was into left. Leadoff single for Sabo. Just continuing his fine play. Started the night batting at .312. Big thrill for him to be in that All-Star game, even though he didn't get a chance to go to bat. He at least had the opportunity to get in, steal a base. It was nice of Whitey Herzog to find some place for him to play for a moment.
Yeah, a lot of people were disappointed. I've never seen or heard the Reds fans.
They were chanting for him.
They were chanting Sabo. That's the way it should be at the ballpark. I'd love to see more excitement around the ballpark, more music, drilling on that organ.
And that's outside corner. Strike one. Late call by plate umpire Eric Gregg. O'Neill hit it into a double play, 3-6-1. To end the threat in the first. There's throwing over.
Boy, as a first baseman, you have to be so aware of Perez. You cannot afford to take your eye off of him for a second.
Sabo's going. They pitch out, and he is out. Sabo cut down as they guessed correctly.
Well, when you get such a good pitch out, look at Santovenia. He almost balked. He made a perfect throw, needless to say, and no place for Sabo to go but left towards the dugout.
1 ball and 1 strike to O'Neill. The off-speed pitch is foul back. Perez, a 49-44 lifetime record in the majors. His 12th start of the season tonight. And this is hit into center field, and Nixon jumps and makes the play. Well, rather athletic maneuver out there. 2 gone.
The thing about Paul O'Neill, he hits that ball underneath. It's down on the ball. He gets that spin and makes the ball carry so strong that you can really misjudge his line drives. Nixon almost did.
Davis at the plate as you get a look at Otis Nixon playing center field in this big ballpark. 325 down the lines. Davis a strike on the outside corner. 375 to the power alleys and 404 to center field here at Olympic Stadium in Montreal. There it is. Don't hurt yourself, Eric.
Well, he actually timed it pretty well.
Look at it. Look at Eric. They love it here.
Double hitch.
Whoop. Wasn't even close, was it?
It wouldn't even stick in the catcher's glove.
Didn't have enough power on it. And that one's outside.
Now you want to try so hard to make sure you make contact.
2-2. These two clubs last year were 6-6. This year they're 2-2. Each club has won 1 and lost 1 on home ground. Full count. Nicky Saski on deck. Perez was hit on the middle finger attempting to bunt a Nolan Ryan fastball back in May, and broke the tip of the finger, was out for 44 days. They rehabbed him down at Indianapolis. Fly ball, center field. Otis Nixon camped under it. After 4 innings, no score.
Today's game is brought to you in part by General Tire. Get on your Generals and go. And by Lens Crafters. Quality eyeglasses in about an hour.
You're watching Reds baseball on the Cincinnati Reds television network. No score, and here is Tim Raines. Raines grounded out in the first inning. Bottom of the fourth.
Giants now trail the Pirates 4-2.
And if you joined us late, Dodgers took 2 from the Cubs.
And New York came back. They got 2 in the second. They trailed Atlanta 3-2.
A little high to Raines.
Wild one in Comiskey Park, or in Yankee Stadium, I should say. It's 5-4. And that's in the bottom of the second. The Yankees leading the White Sox. Gary Reedus, the former Red, with a 3-run home.
Into right field, O'Neill making the play. Raines hit it hard.
Jay, you almost have to feel that the pitcher who gives up a first run is in jeopardy.
It's that kind of game, and Johnny, that it seems to me after an all-star break you usually have a wild and woolly one, or you have one like this, a very low scoring affair.
Well, you're able to throw your best pitcher out there a lot of times. Perez, of course, had he not missed those 44 days, he might have been on the all-star team.
That's right. Galarraga, a strike on the outside corner. Only one Expo has reached. Nelson Santovenia, the catcher, with a single with 2 out in the second. 1 ball and 1 strike. Jackson, born in San Antonio, grew up in Aurora, Colorado, where he pitched at Central High School. Swing and a miss, and lest I forget, Mr. Bench played 1 year at Oklahoma.
Okay, thank you. You know, the big part for Danny Jackson and I is getting through the middle of this lineup for 3, 4, and 5 hitters, Galarraga, Brooks, and Wallach.
And a good play by Jackson. Feels his position and throws on 2 gone. Jose Rio will be pitching here tomorrow night. It'll be Rio against Dobson. Rio's 9-4, Dobson 2-5.
Well, there's the rotation right there outside of Victor Perez. On your left of your screen, Jack Armstrong, Jose Rio, Victor, and then Tom Browning.
Tom Browning will go on Saturday when we televise for you, and he'll be opposed by Dennis Martinez. Armstrong against Coleman on Sunday. We're televising tonight, tomorrow night, and Saturday. Swing and a miss.
Tommy, Larry Starr, Joe Harvey on the far right screen, the trainers.
1 ball and 1 strike to Hubie Brooks. Hubie grounded out to start the second. Foul off to the right side. Since they put the roof on here, it's been a help in many ways from the standpoint of the weather, and a little bit of help from the standpoint of picking the ball up, but still not too easy for those of us way up here. Strikeout is the second for Jackson. Still no score.
Reds and Expos are scoreless as we go to the 5th, and Reds and Kroger's have teamed up again for grocery night on Friday, July the 22nd, when the Reds meet the Expos at 7:35. Thousands of dollars worth of groceries will be given away, plus one lucky fan will win a $10,000 gift certificate towards a car from Marge Schott Chevrolet. Here's a Reds special day that allows loads of fans to win free groceries. Treat the whole family to Reds baseball, free groceries, and lots of fun on Kroger Grocery Night, Friday, July 22nd. The Reds and the Expos at 7:35. Postcard entries are accepted.
And Perez throws, and Asaski swings, strike 1. I love those free groceries. Loading up on those for you.
As well as anybody I've known.
No score here, moving into the 5th inning. There it is. Where did it go? Who, he says. Perez out in front, 0-2 to Asaski. strikeout number 3.
Necro threw me one of those pitches one night. Bob Didier was the catcher. I said, throw that thing again. He said, all right. I hit it out.
Did you?
Well, when that knuckleball is thrown that slow, it really doesn't do much. You know, it needs some air current and some little velocity to make it move with the seams. But it's hard all of a sudden just to be standing there looking fastball or slider and get that thing.
Diaz, who has one of the 2 Reds hits, fouls that one out of play. With Reed coming on board as the number 2 catcher. Means that Concepcion has moved back to the number 4 position.
Yes, he has. And it also frees up Lloyd McClendon to do a little more pinch hitting.
Yeah.
Jeff Reed, of course, is a left-handed hitter. That's a good balance.
Just kidding Concepcion about that today.
Yes. He feels a lot better. He looked like he's got a well-deserved rest over the All-Star break.
Way high, 1 ball and 2 strikes.
Frizz is kind of like the Clue game. You never know what to expect.
Oh, certainly. He keeps you guessing, and he comes from everywhere. Just a little high, 2-2. 0-2-0 for the Reds, 0-1-1 for the Expos. 5th inning of action, Olympic Stadium in Montreal. Jay Randolph and Johnny Bench with you. The first of 4 games here on a short road trip. The first of 3 that we'll televise for you along the Reds network. 3-2.
Now he's thrown one 57 feet, bounced it. He's thrown one over the catcher's head. He's thrown the Ephus pitch this inning. He's thrown the hard slider, just missed with a fastball.
Has he got anything
Tell
else?
me what to look for.
Has he got anything else? At least he was able to find the ballpark here in Montreal this evening.
Just get on the subway and get off at P9.
He knew.
Or Pi 9, as we say back home. Pi IX.
Yes.
Wonderful subway system out here to the ballpark, of course, throughout the Montreal city.
He's got an extra uniform.
Well, as hard as he
Change
works.
shirts. Yeah, he'll change shirts maybe this next inning. We'll soon have the Reds send him to the shower, and then he wouldn't have to change.
That's right. Imagine when we used to wear those Wolf uniforms in Crosby Field and St. Louis and some of those hot days. Go through 3 or 4 different sweatshirts. Of course, you did that underneath your uniform to begin with, but you certainly don't change as much. These new uniforms breathe a lot easier. That is a strange type of soil that he has on his uniform.
Into left field. Raines backing up at the track, and he makes the play. Ball was well hit.
He's got dirt on his number. Of course, he likes to get a lot of dirt at the mound, try to dry himself off. He sweats quite a bit. That's the reason for the other uniform. But on his number, up on his shoulder, on his left shoulder. Follow him here is always fixing it.
Always in motion.
So he's got a lot of pine tar on those hands, or he's got a lot of dirt. Now, it's a little darker than a lot of dirt I've seen. Pine tar gives you a better grip, especially on those sliders.
Treadway grounded out in the second. Takes inside for a ball. That's in there. 1-1.
He's got it on the seat of his pants, too.
A little bit of everywhere.
And you don't see him going down to the dirt too much. Not a question.
Off-speed pitch. Galarraga. Easy out. 4.5. The game is scoreless.
Nothing to report for the runs as far as the Reds and Expos are concerned, but we would like to tell you about our Super X Senior Citizen Special coming up July the 19th. when the Reds host the New York Mets at 7:35. Special ticket prices are in effect on box and reserve seats for our veteran Reds fans 65 and older when they purchase their tickets in advance of game day. It's July 19th. The Reds and the Mets, thanks to the folks at Super X drugstores, and buy them in advance now. Take a friend with you. Take a friend from the neighborhood, take them down there, get them their tickets, and have a good time. Let them enjoy our great senior citizens.
Danny Jackson rolling along here with a one-hitter. Santavena's two-out single in the second. Wallach to lead it off here in the fifth. He flied to left in the second. Again, if you joined us late, the Red Sox today fired manager John McNamara, replaced him on an interim basis with third base coach Joe Morgan.
I wonder why they waited. Just so nothing disrupt the All-Star game or the news of it.
Maybe the decision was made over the All-Star break.
There's a lot of people get together at the All-Star break, and in Cincinnati there's a lot of officials in.
Morgan, of course, not the same Joe Morgan who won 2 MVP awards for our Cincinnati Reds. He's now a part-time hitting instructor and businessman. There's the crew chief, John Kibler, as they appealed that call. 0 balls and 2 strikes.
Part-time hitting instructor and what?
Entrepreneur. And he's a broadcaster, too.
Yes, he broadcasts for some of the Giants ball games, and of course, some of the other network games.
Joe's a busy man. Little Joe.
Certainly is.
On the move. And this one is not in time. Well, there wasn't anything that Sabo could do about that. The ball was hit very softly. Sabo taking it with the bare hand, trying to make the play, but no chance. Wallach with the infield single.
Not only that, the spin off the ball made it go towards the line. And it really caught Chris off balance. Had nothing to do. And Nick making sure. Watch him. He looks like he's got here. Then all of a sudden he has to change directions and get a bare hand on it. Off balance, impossible. Nick made sure he made the play as far as stopping the ball. And Treadway was actually over to back up. Good play by Treadway as well.
So the leadoff man is on here in the fifth, and here is Santavena. He has the other hit. And both sides now have 2.
Wonder how good Santavena handles the bat. Runners have been scarce for the Expos. If he handles the bat well, head in the count, might be a good time to think about a hit and run. Although Wallach has only attempted 3 stolen bases, does not have the speed, but that's why you put him in motion.
And here's one into left, and coming on, it's Daniels. Boy, that's a tough play, Johnny, with that ball that low coming out of the seats.
Well, we saw it during the All-Star game. Andy Van Slyke with a great play, and Cal making sure he was trying to get low. He already had a beat on it, so he just stayed with the momentum of going forward and right into his glove. That's the hardest part of it, hitting that turf. Boy, that turf burns.
Daniels, Davis, and O'Neill in the Reds outfield tonight. Rex Hudler will fly to center in the second. Stands in, 1 on and 1 out. And to the right side, and on to second for 1. Not in time at first.
Well, it's Hudler with good speed. We said at the front of the program in our pregame that Leon Durham was missing from practice yesterday and also missed the plane, and now we understand that he will not be here until tomorrow.
We heard that he might be in here around 8:30 tonight, but the latest is that the bull will arrive tomorrow. We'll keep you apprised of that situation. Here's Rivera in the third. He flied to right. And we can expect to see this youngster Hudler maybe doing a little running in this situation.
He's 7 for 7.
Jackson throwing over. Seve Ballesteros of Spain, a 2-stroke lead over Brad Faxon of the U.S. and Wayne Grady of Australia. First round of the British Open. Royal Lytham St. Anne's, Blackpool, England. Curtis Strange, the U.S. Open champion. Disastrous 79. Faldo, the defending champion, shot even par, but he finished with a double bogey and a bogey. 3 over on the last 2. Played in rain and heavy winds there today. 1 ball and no strikes. Rivera looking down to Jackie Moore, who coaches at third. Now he's set. There you get a good look at Hudler. Hudler's going. Swing and a miss. The throw not in time. Number 8 on the year for Hudler.
Runs well. Determination. Very well put together young man, around 6 foot tall, 180, 185 pounds. Good arms and strong legs. Another dimension that Jay mentioned earlier that the Expos did not have.
And here comes the Reds pitching coach.
Well, do you want to pitch to him or put him on?
Scotty Breeden coming out to talk things over. This is the first runner for the Expos to reach second base. Daniels reached second back in the first. A light hitting affair. 2 hits for either side. And as Johnny mentioned earlier, you feel like whoever can get the lead in this ball game really will have the upper hand.
Well, that's why they want to make sure that Danny does what he chooses to here. I think he wants to pitch to Rivera. He'll just give him some hard stuff, the hard sliders, just show him a pitch or two. He'll try to make his pitch. Buck Rogers having a talk with him too, saying, well, I don't know what they're going to do with Rivera here, but I know that Perez is 0 for 27 on the year. Larry Bernhardt there, the pitching coach.
And 1 ball and 1 strike the count. And into center field, Davis came in, then had to back up. That ball hit right at him. They strand 1. We played 5. No score.
Well, it's a 0-0 ball game, Jay. You did a good job of holding him. UP is cleaned up, and that's all that's been cleaned up. He didn't have a lot to clean up. Danny Jackson will start off the top of the 6th inning. He swings and misses, struck out his first time up. Each pitcher has faced 17 batters in these first 5 innings. 2 hits apiece for both ball clubs. 1 error has been committed by the Expos. Swing on this, strike 2. 1 base on balls given up in the game. That was to Cal Daniels in the first inning. Perez working to Santovenia, and the slider is away. Had a letter from a gentleman who wanted to know about the configuration of the ballpark, since it's 90 feet to first, on down to second, the mound 60 feet 6 inches. Why aren't all ballparks alike? Well, why aren't all houses alike? You know, certainly this particular stadium is a good example. This was the Olympic field, and just the configuration itself, they weren't just going to put it aside and not use it at all. It's used for a wonderful game of baseball here as Jackson strikes out looking for the second time. 4th strikeout in the game.
You want to build the wall where this stadium ends out there. What is it out there? 600 feet?
Oh, that's Little League, isn't it? Hit it past there and run. I would think that the outfielders would not try to chase it most of the time.
I mean,
why aren't all the walls the same? The outfield fences? Well, some are AstroTurf and they bounce off over. Sometimes you like to keep the ball in the ballpark. You see the triples. Barry Larkin looks at a breaking ball inside. Lark 0 for 2. Yeah, wouldn't it be great to live in a neighborhood? Everything's the same.
Be boring.
Everybody adjusts to their type of ball club that they want to have.
John, you and I have seen a lot of fields. You don't see it as much now with the artificial surfaces, but certainly over the years, and still on the grass, natural grass, you still see clubs tailoring their fields to
way they cut the grass. Sure.
Yeah.
Water down the infields. Eric Gregg took that one. And it's a ball on the strike on the foul tip. Old Polo Ground, sometimes you're kind of limited. That's like having all golf courses the same. Chopped at the plate, it'll go foul. He'll have to come back, and the count will be ball and 2 strikes.
Some people have been criticized for a lot of the new courses being too much the same. That's right.
Barry Larkin, the all-star shortstop, is followed by Cal Daniels. Base hits in the game, one by Bo Diaz and one by Chris Sabo. And Sabo was caught stealing on a pitch out. He guessed right and got it. Something away. Well, you call for the pitch away, and tell you what, if somebody's giving you signs to look away, You start diving outside, he'll get it up and in. Barry's average at 296. 55 runs on the year. Fans turn out in extra numbers to see Pasquale pitch. We've seen him turn a double play, and it's worth remembering. He covered first base. No matter how you want to complain about how he does things, he fielded his position perfectly getting over there. Blooper pitch, ground ball, Wallet. Throw to first. And Larkin gone, 2 outs. Cal took one. Eric swung and missed, and now Larkin grounds the third, and Cal has kind of a smile on his face as Barry runs by. One swing of the bat might make the difference in this ball game, the way both these pitchers are going about it.
Cal's probably saying, "Oh, throw me one of those. Let me see."
No, I don't think so. I think he's looking for that slider just about over the middle of the plate.
That would be.
Well, that's a straight change.
Yep.
Took something off of it. Cal struck out his last time up after he walked in the first.
This fellow really keeps you off balance.
Oh my goodness! Of course, that's the key to pitching. A lot of scouts and too many baseball people rely on the jugs gun, which is the radar detector to tell you how fast the pitcher is throwing. This one chopped over the mound. Here comes Hudler. He'll field, flip underhanded, and nothing happening again. Bottom of the 6th inning. It's scoreless. Nothing, bottom of the 6th. There's the jugs gun. Tell you how fast your pitcher's throwing. We do not have access to the numbers. All we can tell you is whatever they're throwing, it's effective. Danny Jackson, number 20, looking to get Pasquale Perez and the Expos in order, as Perez did in the last inning. 0 for the season. That tells you right there. Pitch high, and the count evens at 1. Danny has retired. The Expos in order 3 of the 5 innings. Fouled at the plate. Reds had a couple of runners on in the first inning. Daniels walked, and then Sabo was on after Rivera booted his ball. O'Neill then hit into a double play. Diaz singled with 2 outs in the second. He was left at first after Treadway grounded out. Sabo singled in the 4th. He was caught stealing. Since then, it's been 8 in a row.
He gets deep in that cap, doesn't he?
And he gets deep back to the pine with a strikeout. And for Jackson, that's his 3rd. Top of the lineup for Montreal. 0-6 Nixon, 0 for 2. And then it'll be followed by Tim Raines. Pretty good looking lineup, Jay, if they could, buy a way to first base, especially for Nixon. Imagine if he gets on the field a couple of times, and even they can plan on getting some runs.
Well, as we mentioned earlier, he's stolen 18 out of 21 in 19 games he's played in. So he's been doing some running whenever he has the opportunity. There's the bunt. Jackson fields it.
And a good place to go, except Danny really fielded his position exceptionally well there. He falls off a little bit towards the third base side. As soon as he saw Nixon square around, he gave it away a little early. He was able to straighten himself, get over and make the play, and 2 gone. Raines grounded out and flied out. 276. The Rock. They're waiting for him to turn things around. Said he wanted to stay home, especially after he went on the disabled list with a hamstring problem, and he got some films of George Brett. He wanted to study them. George Brett was his idol at swinging the bat. It was fun sitting down in the dugout during the rainout. Even I wanted to get the skills competition in on Monday. It was a shame. And of course, the Disney World on Parade did not make it, but it came back the next day. Ground ball off the glove of a.
Oh boy, well, no chance to make the play.
Treadway going one way. The ball after being tipped goes the other, and base hit. Just too quick a reaction for Jackson. At the same time, Treadway would have had a tough play. He would have had to backhand and make a good throw.
Treadway here does a good job of getting to this ball. As Johnny said, he was going the other way. No chance for the play. A little frustration for Jeff.
Let's see how good an athlete Danny Jackson is by getting the ball, getting part of that glove on the ball. Here's Galarraga, 55 RBIs, 0 for 2 on the evening. 2 ground balls. Ground ball towards the hole. Diving Larkin. Can he get up in time? No. Well, they haven't got the ball out of the infield, but both of them are base hits, that's for sure. And the Expos with 2 outs on, with 2 runners on and 2 outs, have something going for Hubie Brooks.
Good stop by Larkin. But again, no opportunity to make a play. He looks and says, no need to throw it.
Might have been something we would have done earlier in the season.
Yes.
Then the big problem is we no longer lead the league in errors, thanks to Philadelphia. But a lot of mental mistakes. The Reds pitchers have really done a good job of not allowing a lot of earned runs because of all the errors. But right now, run very big in this game. I mean, a lot. And here's Hubie Brooks with 55 RBIs on the year, 10 home runs. Raines at second, Galarraga at first, and Danny deals a strike. We'll be back with you tomorrow night and Saturday night. It's Dobson and Rio. D-O-P-S-O-N. He'll be interesting to watch. 6 foot 10 inches. Stands Dobson. Raines bluffs towards third, and Jackson misses away. Fans trying to get something going here with their hard on this concrete back in Park Jetty. They used to stop those aluminum stands.
Boy, they make some noise.
Oh, my goodness.
Jerry Park.
You would think the cavalry was coming. Hit off the fist. Sabo makes the throw in time. Got him. And Jackson and the Reds are out of it. It's a scoreless 6th. We're into the 7th. Stand up and stretch. It's scoreless. Scoreless game. 0-0 on hand tonight. Murray Cook, his wife, sitting behind the Reds dugout. There in the middle of your screen, the pink shirt next to the gentleman in the blue sport coat.
He's got his ever-present.
It looks like Dr. Harding. Is it? It's family night up here.
That is
family
Dr. Harding.
Weekend, I should say, as they brought the plane up.
Murray's got that ever-present clipboard with him.
Yes. Trying to keep tabs on Pascual Perez as he faces Chris Sabo. And Chris looks at a strike. Chris extended his hitting streak to 9 games with a single in the 4th inning. He's caught stealing. Couldn't hold it. Good hard slider by Perez. And Pascual not losing anything at all. It's the head in the count. When Pascual goes out to the mound to start the inning, he puts his hand palm flat on the ground, gets all the dirt he can, and then starts wiping everywhere. He's got it on his pants leg, his number, his left shoulder, his rear end, his cap.
It looks like he's been in a real tussle out there, doesn't it?
Well, he certainly hasn't.
That's right.
He's only given up 2 hits. Slider, it's away. She checked it in time. 28,813 on hand tonight for those 2 lovebirds. 2 little lovebirds sitting on the tree. KIS in center, and that looks at a fastball away. Perez will not show you too much of the straight variety. He'll turn it over, change speeds. You've seen it all tonight. The Ephus pitch. There's a straight change. Outfield straight away here at Park Jerry. May have been inside the line, inside the bag. The way Hudler went after that. And of course, he played it a little far back from the wall because he had to reach for the bounce. O'Neill, though, safe at second, and a chance for the Reds. As the Expos had their chance in the last inning. Slider, and it just caught the front edge of the plate.
O'Neill is the 2nd Red to reach second base. Daniels got there in the 1st. Neither club has had neither club's had anybody at 3rd.
Well, let's just let him stop briefly at third on the way home. Fastball misses inside. Eric with 10 game-winning RBIs, 2 in the last 2 ball games. 5 for 8. He's been swinging the bat well. 4 RBIs in the last 2 games. He's stolen 18 bases in a row. Base hit, stolen base, get a couple of runs in this inning. Grounded right past the mound. Rivera will have to hurry. He does and gets Davis, and O'Neill moves to third.
This turf in this stadium, I think they plan a new installation next year now that the roof is on, but this turf is very, very old, very bleached, and frankly a little bit on the inconsistent side.
But better than they had a couple of years ago when I was trying to play third base down there. Nick trying to give the Reds the lead.
You didn't like the hot corner here, huh?
Nobody likes the hot corner here. This was like a ramp out at Dorval. Fastball almost got him. And it's 2 balls and no strikes. Bo Diaz on deck.
4-game streak on the line for Isaski here tonight.
Has 10 RBIs in his last 8 ball games. Perez doesn't come with a fastball. At 2-0, he uses the slider, and then swings and misses. Well, I hope it's not the real spongy kind. I like the harder variety. Ball popped up center field. Popped up, if you want to like it, 375 feet. Inning over for the Reds. Bottom of the 7th. Nothing, nothing. Nothing ball game. Pascual Perez has held the Reds to 3 hits, and the man on the mound, Danny Jackson, has held the Expos to 4. And Danny will face Tim Wallach, Nelson Santovina, and Rex Hudler, and Danny gets the first pitch over for a strike.
Over in the American League, Baltimore 7-1 over Minnesota in the first game of 2. Baltimore leading 2-1 over Minnesota, top of the 5th in the second game. Yankees lead Chicago 6-4, top of the 5th. Boston and Kansas City just getting underway. Milwaukee 3, Texas nothing, bottom of the 2nd.
Right, ball 2 strikes.
Later it'll be Cleveland at Seattle, Detroit at California, Toronto at Oakland. And over in the National League, LA took 2 from Chicago, 1-0 and 6-3.
They're serious about these things.
Houston 5-2 over Philadelphia, bottom of the 5th.
Found out a play.
Pittsburgh 7-2 over the Giants. They're in the top of the 5th. New York leading Atlanta now 5-3. They're in the 4th. And St. Louis and San Diego underway. They're in the 2nd. No score.
1 ball, 2 strikes, nobody out. Bottom of the 7th inning. A slider got him. Tim knew it. Boy, and he's had the good slider. Both pitchers have been very effective with that slider. And strikeout number 4 for Danny Jackson. Take a look at this pitch, Jay.
Well, it was one that he just couldn't pull the trigger on, and Jackson with 4 strikeouts. Perez in the game also with 4, so it's been an excellent performance by both hurlers. Time call.
Santovina calls time as Danny starts in, and the news from Boston, John McNamara was fired as the manager of the Red Sox today. It was interesting talking to Wade Boggs. He didn't know what the situation was over there. It was going to be very interesting, and didn't last long.
John managed the Reds, what, 4 years?
I believe it was.
Pretty close to that, I think.
6 managers have been fired this year as Santovina looks at a strike. Cal Ripken was the first, of course. Then it was Chuck Tanner, Larry Boa, Dick Williams, Billy Martin, and now John McNamara. That's a strike, and it's right on the outside corner, and Jackson may have no balls and 2 strikes. Well, the Orioles have improved under Frank Robinson. The Braves are still having problems under Russ Nixon. This one, ball grounded to Treadway, 2 outs. Larry Boa is followed by McKeon, and McKeon has really done the job.
Wonderful job. And they gave Lee Elia a new deal down at Philadelphia.
That was really a surprise. But Lee Thomas, the new general manager, felt like Elia was the man for the job. I think in the back of a lot of people's mind, Mike Schmidt was a candidate to be a player manager. And interesting talk about the possibility of this being the last year for Mike unless he starts playing better. Here's Hudler. Look for the bunt. He does. He fouls at the home plate, and he may have been out. No, he said he was in the box. Eric Drake said so. Showed the graphic earlier that Hudler has 9 hits, 6 of the infield variety, and 4 have been bunts.
Diaz was trying to get the call there as you look at the sound meter out in the right center field area, way beyond the wall.
Back where the gentleman wants to put the wall.
No, I don't think he wants it out there.
1 ball and 1 strike. I don't think so either.
Heck, if every cookie cutter was the same, cookies wouldn't even be fun to look at.
Oh, I knew you'd be thinking of food when you made some kind of analogy. Career home run by Kevin McReynolds. His 12th and 4th for Dave Magadan and Darryl Strawberry. And it's the Mets 8, the Braves 3. Expos trying to catch up. Pirates were leading. And got an update on that. They were leading 4-2, and the Mets are going to make it very difficult. They're coming out very strong. Ron Darling started for the Mets. 2 balls, 2 strikes, and 2 outs. Our good friend Lee Wire would say 2 strikes, 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs.
Well, we'll miss him.
Yes, we will. Good slider down, and Hudler gets a piece of it. Count remains the same. Looking ahead in the 8th inning, it'll be Diaz, Treadway, and a decision. For the Expos, Santovina has gone out. Hudler, of course, Rivera is on deck. These managers starting to think about what they're going to have to do. And the one thing you really don't want to do is go extra innings here in Montreal, or with the Expos, I should say. They're 12 and 4 in extra inning ball games. Breaking ball inside and fouled, way left. 28,813 on hand as the Reds families are on hand. Tracy Tillman sitting beside Buck. Tracy said in the papers, we have time. We'll tell you next inning, strikeout by Hudler, and he's mad, but it's scoreless into the 8th. It's the 8th inning, and it's scoreless. Bo leads off and fouls it back. It'll be Diaz, Treadway, and either Jackson or a pinch hitter. Each pitcher has been sparkling tonight. 3 hits for the Reds, 4 for Montreal. Bo is 1 for 2. And a hard hit ball, and Rivera cannot field it.
Rather lackadaisical move by Rivera. He was trying to make it look easy when it wasn't. His 2nd error of the game.
Just about described it the best way you can, Jay, and lackadaisical. But it was hit hard. That's called not totally getting in front of the ball, I would say.
Right. That's right. Trying to make the glove too much. Now Treadway is going to talk things over with Bruce Kim, and as he does, we'll say hello to the folks in Charleston, West Virginia, the Huntington, West Virginia area on WVAH Channel 11. General Manager Don Wilburn, Sales Manager Steve Rabb, and P.J. Ryle, the local manager, the state capital of Charleston, beautiful city at Huntington. Say hello to all the folks down in Mountaineer Land.
Saw all the high fives in the dugout. I wonder what was going on. Winningham was so quick getting out there.
Runner at
Pitch
first.
run. His first appearance for the Red. There he goes. Treadway was sent up, they thought, to bunt, and they got him. Good throw by Santovina.
I'd like to see that again, if you don't mind. Winningham is thrown out, and let's see what it looked like. This Santovina can throw, and boy, I think he's in. I think he's in there. I thought so from here.
You're 1,000% right, Jay, unless this view is a lot different than one we've seen. My goodness, where you got to tag him? Oh, don't get our stage manager. Look up here. He's trying 50-50. Forget that 50-50 stuff.
Jim Quick made the call.
Too quick. Treadway fouls it back, and it's 1-1. If you tag a guy's foot on the base, well, here we go. Treadway needs to start off now. moved out on deck, and Treadway fouls at the plate. You would almost think that if Treadway were to double or something, you might take a chance. Stay with Jackson because you have Larkin. You might put Jackson in a position to bunt. A lot of things for a manager to think about. All we need now is that double to get us going. There's a fly ball, left field. Rain's there. Moving back short of the track. 2 out.
And they're going to let Daddy bat.
Rock making the play, and Santovina has, along with Perez, have done the job of.
Pete is upset with
Jim
Quick. He's upset with Quick. I don't blame him.
I don't know if they have access to a replay camera down there. They do in the clubhouse, of course. They watch it on the monitors. Buck Happy. Bobby Winkles. Yes, sir. Right there on the left.
All wings. Good
Buck,
baseball man.
Manager of the year last year. Jackson looks at the slider, and it's even at 1. I want to say hello to our friends in Columbus, Ohio, at WLWT-TV, watching their hometown boy Paul O'Neill tonight on Channel 28. General Manager John Quigley, National Sales Manager Steve Marks, the Program Director is Orrin Goff. We're not supposed to use that until tomorrow, guys. Perez will field that, make the play, and the Expos go to the 8th. It's tied at 0. It's scoreless in the bottom of the 8th inning. Winningham has made an appearance. And Jay, it's your turn, isn't it?
Well, let me tell you that Reed is the new catcher, but Conn's Baseball Card Day coming up Sunday, August 14th, the Reds and the Braves. Due to the popularity of the special Conn's giveaway, free set of Reds trading cards will be given to everyone in attendance at the stadium. Each set features great action shots, stats, and valuable coupons. Mark that date, Sunday the 14th of August, Reds and the Braves, Baseball Card Day, thanks to Conn's.
Well, I preempted you a little bit. I
That's
wanted to
all
tell
right.
you that Jeff Reed is catching. Winningham has made a move, so we've seen 2 of the people involved in the trade today, and Tracy Jones has moved out to the on-deck circle. He will bat for Pascual Perez. Tim Burke was warming up in the bullpen. There's their left-hander out there now. So Jeff Perret and Neil Heat. Jeff gets his first chance. He's been down in Indianapolis. We rode up on the plane with him today. And I also rode up with Tracy Jones. I introduced him at the baggage claim. I was talking to Tracy in Detroit. I said, you know, have you got an apartment? He said, well, I'm leasing the condo from Tim Gullickson. I said, well, maybe Jeff Reed has an apartment. Maybe you can just switch. Saw Jeff, and he said, yeah, I got an apartment. I called Tracy over, and I don't know if they made the deal or not. Maybe they just might switch residences right now.
And now you're in the real estate business.
Yes, indeed. No percentage, though. Thank you.
No percentage.
No percentage. Luis Rivera will lead off for the Montreal Expos. Rivera 0 for 2. 2 fly balls.
Can't even do anything at closing cost time?
No, I can't represent that. Rivera trying to check the swing, couldn't, got his feet tangled up, and he falls across home. He's had a tough night. Whoops. There you go. That plate is so high, you've got to be careful of a trip over it. Great camera work. As John Kieswetter said, the Reds telecast better than the All-Star Game telecast. And that's credit to our people down in the truck and all of our great cameramen. Swing and a miss.
John said that?
John Kieswetter. Yes, he did.
That's high praise.
And duly deserved.
Well, Roy Alford,
Jesse Jackson, Dick Mort, and of course, they put it all together, and we get fine crews. A lot of people like to work for Roy and Jesse because they work so hard. Here's the ball tap right past Danny Jackson. Lark comes in, makes the play, and there's 1 out, and here comes Tracy. Well, we can close the book on Pascual Perez, Jay, and did he do a good job or what?
He certainly did. He went 8 innings and gave up no runs on 3 hits. He struck out 4 and walked only 1. Outstanding performance by Perez again. Earlier this year, he 2-hit the Reds.
Well, Tracy Jones, he had some parting words at Pete Rose. He said if Buck Rogers were to come up and hit him in the mouth every day, it'd still be better than the treatment he got in Cincinnati.
Pretty strong, huh?
Burning bridges. Fastball right underneath the letters. It's high for a ball. The Expos also made a move today, another trade, when they got Dave Martinez. Good young outfielder for the Cubs for Mitch Webster, their switch-hitting starting center fielder at the center of the year. This just misses down and in.
Guess they pretty well settled on Nixon being able to do the job here.
I guess, well, at least temporarily, but yeah, I tell you, Martinez is a solid player.
That's true.
Defensively, he was hitting .253 with 4 runs and 34 RBIs for the Cubs. Strike called, 2 balls and 1 strike. Tracy did well in his pinch hitting performances at the end of the first half of the season. But the bases loaded walks back-to-back against the Padres. Swing and a miss. They're giving a lot of credit to David Dombrowski, Vice President Player Personnel of the Expos. They said he's already made more improvements in the Expos with his trades than Bill Stoneman did in all the time that he was here. So certainly fans and like to see changes, especially if it's not going well. If it doesn't work, fix it, they say. If it works, don't fix it. Broken bat. Tracy will be an easy out. 2 gone here in the bottom of the 8th inning. He got on his fist there. Danny will get on a lot of people's fist if you've never seen him pitch. And that means if I'm an opposing batter, I go up there and I look for that fastball, and he'll throw that hard slider, and it just dives in there on your hands. Here's the man to whom Jay alluded to, Otis Nixon. And behooves us and Danny Jackson to keep him off the base. Tried to check a swing, he did. Right at Nick. Quick inning, 3 up, 3 down. We're going to the 9th. Nobody's scored yet.
On Friday, August 5th, the Reds will kick off a homestand with the Padres 7:35. A great special date for the young Reds fans. It's Briggs Drinking Man Mug Day, when the first 15,000 fans that attended 16 and under received the free Reds drinking mug. A handy red and white mug, great for either hot or cold beverages. Kick off the month of August with Reds baseball on Friday, August the 5th. Reds and the Padres Drinking Mug Day, thanks to Biggs.
We're going to the top of the 9th inning, and it's Jeff Parrott on the mound for the Expos. And I tell you, Jay, he's got every bit of a chance of being an all-star pitcher. He didn't miss by much this year. His record 9-2 with 6 saves. Big boy, 6'3", 200 pounds. Out of Lexington, Kentucky, down there with Doug Flynn. Of course, Doug out of Bryan Station. Doug's wife, Olga, here, tried to fly up yesterday, and her plane canceled in Detroit, and she had to spend the night there. Finally got up. She and my wife went off shopping. I'm worried about that.
That's one of the glamour spots, really, that Detroit airport.
Barrett started his career in 1983. Graduated out of Lafayette High School. 21st round draft choice in '62. And he goes to work here against Barry Larkin, and Barry tried to check his swing and couldn't. It's a strike.
Barrett, born in Indianapolis, and as you mentioned, now in Louisville or in the Lexington area.
They have made every indication that he will be their closer, and understandably so. He seems to be at the right spot at the right time. You have to know that when he's won 9 ball games. He's appeared in 41 ball games. He's finished 27. Good ratio, 62 in the 3rd innings. He's only allowed 42 hits and has walked 21 and struck out 62. 62 innings. 1 out, and Larkin pops to Galarraga. That's a good ratio. Strikeout per inning. Cal Daniels. Cal 0 for 2 with a walk. He's tied for the league lead as he came in tonight with Will Clark. There's some great young talent in this National League. Come out to see all the games. 28,813 did here. And Yeah, been a split-fingered fastball. All over for a strike. Fastball away. Said keep it down. He does. 3 hits for the Reds, 4 for the Expos. The Expos have committed a couple of errors. Pascual Perez, 11 times that he's pitched. He had 3 shutouts thrown against him. There's a fastball over for a strike. And
He's going to get on his teammates for non-support, isn't he?
Seems to be going around the league now. A lot of lawsuits for different things. Ray Boggs is finding that out. All-speed pitch fouled off the foot of Cal Daniels. Hurts bad. A lot of times you got to stop him. Craig Nettles interested. Looks like he's got the peanuts working pretty good. Very quiet, as has the base pads been tonight. Tracy all alone in his thoughts. Bullpen still busy for the Expos. Fly ball down the left field line. Run for Raines. Stop short of the line and make the play, and there's 2 gone. Jeff Parrott, Tim Burke, Andy McGaffigan, big men in the bullpen, and now Neil Heaton has moved out from the starting rotation. Joe Hesketh also used. Chris, All-Star Sabo. It's an off-speed pitch. It's over for a strike. Umpires don't like when catchers drop the ball, especially when it's a strike. Fans think that it wasn't that good of a pitch. Did he check it? I think we get this one called on. Let's see. 1, 2, 3. Doesn't have to have any help. Eric Gray called it. I'm watching John Kibler, and Eric snuck one in on me. All downstairs. For the Expos, it'll be Raines, Galarraga, and Brooks.
This fella's sneaky, isn't he?
Really is. Kind of jumps at you all of a sudden. It's right there. Good arm speed, breaking ball, a slider down the way. Earlier in the game, we told you that Sabo's had a little problem with Expos pitching. A lot of people have that. That's a strike. Off-speed pitch off the outside corner. 3 up, 3 down. It's the 9th inning, and the bottom of it. Nobody scored. Well, it's a 0-0 ball game, and it has just been outstanding from the pitching standpoint, like the American and National League All-Star game almost. A lot of offense by either ball club, and Danny Jackson will now have to hold the Montreal Expos.
You mentioned back in the 6th inning that he had to get through the very top part of the order after he got Nixon, Raines, and Galarraga. Galarraga got those infield singles, and they were threatening. Here again, he's got his hands full with Raines, Galarraga, and Brooks. 9th inning and no score.
Well, Jay, you know, when you got 3 solid right-hand hitters like Wallach, who drove in a lot of runs last year, over 100, 117 or something like that, and then you've got Brooks and Galarraga having great seasons. And as a manager, you're sitting over there and says, all right, Tim, just get on for these guys. And of course, Raines with a great speed, ability to steal bases and get things happen. This is the man who will set the table.
Wallach 123.
Was it 123?
Yeah.
I was thinking about Mark McGuire, I guess. He had 117. Saw him the other day in a game play. Downstairs. Interesting for Jeff Reed. He's never seen Danny Jackson. So he's got his work cut out for him. Handling very effectively.
Already 7 complete games for Danny.
That is foul. They are not playing Sabo near the line. They have got him off of the line now. With 2 strikes on Raines, he'll move deeper, cut off the angle a little bit. He's had outstanding year, 17 starts, 7 complete games. Now has to go a complete game to even get a chance of a no decision to this point. In the bullpen, where the Reds someone is, and Raines fouls it. It wasn't too long ago that Jeff Reed working behind the plate while catching for the Expos. And in a span of 5 games with Bruce Fleming umpiring, you see Rob Dibble warming up. He missed 2. Completely missed him, and they hit Fleming, and he was completely out of the ball game. Strike 3 on a hard slider in, and Raines wants to question it just a little bit, and that's all it was, just a little bit.
Well, here is half a dozen strikeouts for Danny, and wasn't any question for Eric Gray. There it is.
Well, this is the man everybody came to see. Player of the month 3 months in a row. Looks like he'll be in for July, and somebody really turns it on. The big cat with 20 home runs and 50 RBIs. Some misses inside.
Galarraga has really blossomed into a superstar here.
And part of it due to the fact that he had a bad thumb. He was hurt with the thumb, and he had to start going to right field and doing more, and he became an all-around hitter to all fields. And stand next to him, and you know the size that he is, 6'3", and he is really thick and powerful. Fouled at the plate. Mike Schmidt hit his 7th home run. That tied him with Mickey Mantle. Did that tie him or put him ahead of Mickey?
I think that might have put him ahead. I don't have that.
It's now Houston 5 and Philadelphia 3. Grand slam home run in that game by Buddy Bell. And Samuel has also hit a home run. Grounded over the mound. There's Larkin. Quick throw. Gets him. Good play by Barry.
Outstanding play by Barry, because that ball went high out there over the bag at second. And he really had to handle this well. Look how high that ball is. Well, you couldn't quite see it from that point, but it took a high hop.
Good effort by Galarraga.
Yeah, it was. By both players for that matter.
Here's Hibby. He's got the power, 10 home runs. Foul down the right field line, hit fair territory. O'Neill will get over. Will he show off his arm? No, he won't have to. Hibby will stop at first. Boy, this carpet's so light colored, it is really difficult.
I know. I tell you, I've learned up here. You know, a couple of years ago, I called a home run up here that wasn't a home run. And I really learned my lesson that day. This is a tough place to see from this broadcast position. Really tough.
Wallach has been hot. Hibby has attempted 7 stolen bases. He's stolen 5 of them. No doubt that Buck will take the bat out of Wallach's hands unless he thinks Reed cannot throw. Wallach has hit 11 of the last 14 games. Home run tonight put him, Mike Schmidt, 1 past Mickey Mantle with 537. Ooh, got a good fastball by him. It's no balls and 2 strikes. Wallach 1 for 3 tonight. 16 of the last 20 games. He's hitting .313. Wallach looked at the slider inside just like that last time up when he took a called strike. That one missed inside. Be back tomorrow night with you again. Temperature here in the stadium, 82 degrees. 28 Celsius. Got him. And Wallach will fire that bat to the dugout. We're going to extra innings. Something the Expos like. It's 0-0.
extra innings, Johnny. You talked about it. Cincinnati 5-7 on the air on extra inning games, and Montreal 12-4 in extra innings.
Well, it's
here we go.
A lot of credit to that bullpen for the Montreal Expos. The Reds really played extra inning ball games earlier. In the first 44 ball games, they played 11 of them, and since that time they've only had one, and it's just tremendous pitching by both pitchers tonight. Perez and Jackson, and Danny now has gone to 9 innings, and we're still looking for offense. Everybody's kind of shut down after that break over the holiday, and 3 days made them rested, but it also made them rusty.
Well, stick with us here and join us again tomorrow night and on Saturday evening. Parrott on the hill in relief of Pascual Perez. You held him.
You held him.
You held him, and I held him. Here we go again. Well, let's see if we can't get the job done here. Paul O'Neill to lead it off. We move into the 10th inning here at Olympic Stadium in Old Montreal. O'Neill tonight hit into a debilitating double play back in the first inning, and he flied to center in the 4th, doubled, and was stranded at 3rd in the 7th. If I'm not mistaken, he's the only player in the game who's reached 3rd. That's correct. O'Neill 1 for 3 on the evening. Strike 1 to O'Neill. Jeff Parrott in relief from Pascual Perez, and another strike. This Parrott is a crafty customer, as Johnny has indicated. Just a little high. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Nearly 29,000 watching with you. Everybody back in action today after the All-Star break. And strikeout number 2 for Parrott. Eric Davis 0 for 3 on the evening. Twice he's grounded out short to first. In the 4th, he flied to center field.
That was quite a stretch for the Reds. They play Montreal, who's playing well, and they play the Mets starting Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, and then Montreal 4 games over the weekend.
A little number out in front that is foul.
And the one thing about the way Danny Jackson has pitched, no one warming up in the bullpen, so Danny would go back out there. Now with a 4-day rotation, puts a lot of strain on Danny. Pitching, he has not thrown as many pitches as he normally does in a game. He'll reach 135 or so in a ball game. So with a 4-man rotation, it can take it out of you the next time. But as hard as he works, it's hard to believe that it would.
Yeah, he has a tremendous work ethic. A strike right down the middle, and Parrott is out in front 0-2.
Jeff Reed loosening up there. He'd like to have a chance to defeat his old teammates.
In the dirt. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Again, we'll tell you the Expos acquired outfielder Dave Martinez from the Cubs for the contract of outfielder Mitch Webster. Trade announced in Montreal this afternoon, just prior to this game. Martinez to report to the Expos tomorrow, and he's going to wear number 3, and so he'll be available here tomorrow evening. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Eric Davis. 10th inning. No score on the board. Nothing but zeros all the way across. The check swing, and Davis is out of there. 2 gone.
He checked it, looked up, couldn't believe it was in fair territory, and Galarraga standing near the line made the easy play. New York Mets 8, Atlanta 6, top of the 6th inning. And St. Louis and San Diego are scoreless. That's in the bottom of the 4th in San Diego.
No, in
St. Louis it is. I'm sorry.
Esaski is 0 for 3. Nick has popped out, struck out, and flied to center.
Pirates leading the Giants 7-2. So Dodgers can pick up a lot of ground.
Outside, 2 balls and no strikes. Nobody on and 2 gone. 10th inning. Expos have out hit the Reds 5-3. Only errors in the game for Rivera, the shortstop of Montreal, 2 of them. Well, this is one of those evenings, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen. If you got home late, you haven't missed a thing. High pop-up, foul ground, Galarraga. They're down 1-2-3, and Parrott has gotten 6 in a row. We'll go to the bottom of the 10th. Along with Johnny Bench, Jay Randolph, Olympic Stadium, Montreal, Quebec, Canada. Expos and the Reds in a tight one. Extra innings, no scoring for either side. Jackson to face Nelson Santovenia. Nelson tonight 1 for 3. Singled in the 2nd, lined out in the 5th, grounded out in the 7th.
First ball hitter.
Inside for ball 1. That caught the outside corner. Reed now behind the plate. If you've joined us late, he has started back there. Reed involved in the trade that sent Tracy Jones across the diamond here. Foul outside the 3rd. Maybe the pitching pairings again for the rest of this series. Rio and Dobson tomorrow night. Saturday evening, Browning against Martinez. Jack Armstrong against Pullman on Sunday. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Larkin throws on. 1 out. The youngster Rex Hudler is 0 for 3. Hudler flied into center in the 2nd. Reached on a fielder's choice. Stole a base in the 5th, the only stolen base of the game. And struck out in the 7th. Johnny told you about this kid. He toiled a long time in the minors. Twist out of the way of that one and fouled it away. And he walks away. He's hurting a little bit.
Makes a feeling go out for a while. I found the best way to do it is stomp on it. For some reason, it gets everything going back. Reds also received a pitcher in the deal. Randy St. Clair, a 27-year-old right-hander.
He's sent down to Nashville.
He's 5-3 with the Expos last year. He will have a record 0-0 and 6.14 ERA with the Expos this year.
On occasions I've seen him pitch well.
Yes, indeed. 6.219.
Yeah, no balls and 2 strikes. Foul down the right side into the seats.
Hudler's only struck out 3 times in 33 at-bats coming in tonight.
Another foul, and that gets him jumping. Look at Concepcion. El Capitan saying, "Don't do that to us over here." Bernie waving the towel. Ronnie Robinson. Mr. Collins there. Eddie Milner.
Davies worried because he doesn't move like he used to.
Oh, boy. They got a glove now.
Oh, right. Bernie's got a glove on. That'll work.
In the dirt, 1 ball and 2 strikes. Rivera on deck. He's 0 for 3 this evening. Two and 2. As they say up in Canada, we've had no offense here tonight.
In making the trade, Murray Cook, very aware of the personnel. A lot of these people came while he was the general manager.
That's right. Ball gets away. Reed throws not in time. Backed up by Treadway, and Cutler is on. You mentioned that Reed is catching Jackson for the first time. Here it is, Johnny.
In the dirt. Yeah, really a tough play. And Hunter very alert. At 360, he picked it up quick. This is what can keep you in the big leagues. Nick could not afford to go into the runner. And a good play by Treadway to back up, and Hunter already has one stolen base in the game. He's 8 for 8 so far this year.
Rivera with 1 on, 1 out, 10th inning, no score. Fitzgerald comes out on deck. That's inside. Center. Davis can't get there. Cutler. And they're going to send him home. And the Expos win. So Rivera, who committed a couple of errors, turns out to be the hero as Hundler, hustling on the play that got by Reed, got down there to first, and it is a victory for Montreal, 1-0. We'll be back with more right after this.
Real automotive value is more than a low sticker price. Tercel and Sentra appear to be equals, but when you're down the road...
Lost last night, 1-0 in 10 innings, and hopefully back on the track tonight.
Well, the offense shut down, and of course it was Pascual Perez and Jeff Parrott last night. The Reds have lost 4 one-run games to the Montreal Expos in the last 4 they've played. 2 of them have been 1-0 games that they've lost, and Perez has been involved in both of those games.
And tonight, we'll be looking at a young fellow named John Dobson pitching against Jose Rio.
2-5 record, but he's pitched well of late. He's got the good speed. Of course, he's got the good height. Now, his strikeout record up to this point will not show that, but they think he's a comer. Last time out against Atlanta, he came within 1 out of tying a record in the National League. He had a 14-hit shutout going. He finally pitched a 15-hitter, and you can expect some offense tonight, I think.
Well, let's hope we get some offense.